Good morning, XRP Army. Welcome back to the channel. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. If it's your first time, kick back, relax. I'm going to ask nothing of you, but if it's your second video, make sure you hit subscribe, smash the like button, leave a comment, interact in the chat. I love talking to you guys and interacting with you. And we are going to move on to the chart. Let me pull that up for you, and we will take a look at what we're dealing with. Let's be honest, we've been getting our butts kicked for the better part of 2 months. It seems like I may have jinxed XRP because as soon as I started making videos, we started dive bombing. Not to say it's my fault, but it has not been good for me in regards to that. But I had a couple areas where I pulled off some day trades on perfect setups and made some money, but overall, it hasn't been good. Again, nothing on this video or nothing on this channel is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. You need to consult a financial advisor before making any investments. Legal disclaimer, have to do it. So today, let's see, we are currently at 219 hovering. You can see I have this outlined barrier here. This is the main three things that I focus on. So to me, if it dips below this 215.2 line, this is what I call my $2 warning. If it falls below this floor, it opens up $2. We could pull all the way back to $2. If we miss and fall below $2, we could fall below to 180. Again, my breakouts are at 248, and you can't see it up here, but also 270. 248 and 270. Until we flip this line of 248, we're going to be hanging out in this area the entire time. This is the consolidation I expect until we break out of this area. All that being said, so now that we have the context of the chart, we know where we're at. We've been feeling a lot of pain lately. I mean, all of us have. It sucks watching our money disappear if we're holding XRP, right? It never feels good to go down. But hopefully, we're remembering exactly why we hold XRP. The grand scheme, the long view of XRP. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. So I'm hoping that's why you're here. Otherwise, I've been doing something very wrong. But moving forward, so there's a couple things I want to show you, and there's a video I'm going to pull up here in a minute. I'm just going to play a little bit for you. I hope the volume works good. I don't have my headset down here to do it, so hopefully it comes through okay on the computer. But there will be a video I want to play. Just take, I think the clip is 2 minutes maybe. This is the macro stuff that I'm wanting to you guys hear.
The policy decisions of late, like, how are you kind of reading into it or assessing it? Like, what do you make of it?
Well, so well, during the Biden administration, they were keying their decisions off bogus non-farm payroll numbers. So that was a problem. They thought when Trump announced the tariffs that inflation was coming. That's not occurring. In fact, inflation is coming down, and we'll get a deflationary scare soon enough once housing collapses, because housing is 36% of the CPI, and that's coming. So they're going to be behind the 8 ball.
This is the important data I want you guys
when things really get going and we see the credit markets blow out, there's some bank issues, bank stocks start collapsing, and the general indices start going down quite a bit, we'll see the Fed panic and cut 50 to 100. I don't know when that's going to, it could happen before the end of the year or sometime in the beginning of the year, but the Fed will panic at some point.
This is the liquidity crisis we're talking about.
And it takes 18 months for interest rate cuts to actually affect the real economy. So these cuts.
All right, I'm pausing this for a second. So he says it takes 18 months for the interest rates to actually affect the economy. Why is this important? This isn't going to be fast enough. If the crap hits the fan, it's not going to be fast enough to bail out the economy. They're going to need something to move things along with some more velocity, right? This is why I hold XRP. It fixes these problems.
Won't save the stock market. They won't save risk assets. Eventually, there'll be a risk asset rally, but not anytime soon.
Should they have been cutting like long before now? Like what should they have?
They should have been cutting in 2024. And then once the tariffs came on, and Lacey Hunt has talked about this and documented this quite well. Tariffs are a tax. Tariffs take liquidity out of the system. So the Fed during the tariff.
So tariffs are amplifying the liquidity crisis that we have right now. So we have the repo markets are running out of money. Tariffs are increasing the liquidity crisis we have right now, and the Fed's not cutting fast enough.
the tariffs and the Great Depression did not lower interest rates and provide liquidity. Same situation. Liquidity is leaving the global markets, so money is tight everywhere, and it's starting to show up in the credit markets. I mean, we finally see the CDSs of the AI markets go up, and that's a function of too much AI debt coming at once and issues in other parts of the credit market. So people in the credit markets are starting to question the growth scenario right now, and that's why there's been a bid on the 10-year and a bid on the 30-year. And once people realize how bad it is, and that's coming, you're going to see the 30-year go to 3% super quick, the 10-year go to 2.5%. It's all going to happen, and you're not going to be able to get in the trade fast enough.
Okay. So what does all of this mean? I'm going to go back out of here now. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope the audio on that video was good. So what does all this mean? This is every single warning of a recession and a bear market. He's basically saying, and it goes on, and I definitely encourage you guys to look up this clip and look up this channel. She has great macroeconomic information. But basically, what he's saying is, if you can go on to read or go on to watch the video, the entire market is propped up on the AI leg. So earnings are flat and the stocks are flat on almost every stock, with the exception of the AI industry, and they're up with these massive valuations. So it looks like our overall stock market is doing great, but really it's a handful of stocks that are propped up in this AI bubble. And he goes on to say that when this deflates, it's going to hit private credit, which is then going to hit the big banks. We're already having issues in the bond markets. We're already having global issues of money being tight and major liquidity issues. So, and it's going to affect risk on assets. That's why Bitcoin's dropping. That's why all the cryptocurrencies are dropping right now, and tech stocks are next. So if this bubble and AI pops, it's going to take the entire stock market with it. And at that point, a bear market is the least of our worries. We will definitely be in a full-on recession at that point, which I really, really hope doesn't happen. But when you're talking about the tightening of liquidity, like he's talking about, and all these things happening, and ISO 2022 or 20022, excuse me, coming at the end of the month, all of these ETFs launching, there's a liquidity crisis, real liquidity crisis being reported by many financial advisors and analysts, not myself, but there are many. It is a perfect storm for the use and adoption of XRP. They need the bank charter. They need the Fed master account. Those are going to be crucial for them to plug in. They're already talking about XRP being used to settle the back end of the stock market. Jake Klaver actually reported on that, and that's something he was calling from 6 months ago, which I thought was really, really cool. So they're already working on tokenizing the back end of the stock market with the DTCC. They are trying to get ahead of this. They really are behind the scenes. It's a matter of if they're going to be able to get ahead of it in times before the crap hits the fan, because it's not looking pretty. But that being said, I have proof. I like receipts. I have proof for you guys. And remember, ask questions. If something pops up, don't just sit here and stare at me in limbo. Interact. Use the chat. I appreciate you. Let me pull up this next thing here. I have receipts. I like my receipts because my receipts show that I am not BSing you guys. I like to give you real information. So I recently talked about the decoupling of XRP from BTC, and we're not really going to have any kind of real breakout until that happens. So I want to show you guys, this is since 2024, right? This is November of 2024 when we had our huge spike in XRP, but I want to show you, okay, so this is XRP versus Bitcoin right here, okay? And you can see it goes up, and stays up. Even during this pullback we're having right now, it's still gaining on BTC. This is what the beginning of a decoupling looks like. And now that we have ETFs and we have institutional flows coming into XRP, as the recession is starting to hit, I'm sorry, I'm calling it what it is. I mean, unless something drastic changes, we're looking at a recession right now. And I think XRP might be able to save it. My personal opinion, not financial advice, but you can see a decoupling from BTC starting to happen as of last year. This is what the beginning of it looks like. It is, even with prices falling, this comparison is going up. And that's what I wanted to show you. So moving on, let's take a look at the next thing here. I'm glad. And again, questions. Talk. Let's see here. And again, even with all of this, we still have very, very bullish news going on. I mean, if we this article on TradingView, Let's see. XRP once again in the news after on-chain data showed 716 transactions more than $1 million each. This happened on the 16th. Okay, so 2 days ago. So this happened. So at this point, so what was going on the 16th? Preparation for all the ETFs that are coming out this week. So these are more than 716 transactions of more than $1 million each, all in a 24-hour period. This is repositioning, okay? Repositioning. Millions of dollars moving around all at the same time. Not normal, okay? During the same time, XRP traded at a stable price corridor between 220 and 230 across major exchanges on Binance. A session recorded a high of 224 and a low of 223. The closing price is 223.99. So a 2-cent range. So XRP did nothing while all of this was shifting around, guys. This stuff happening behind the scenes is not nothing. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. Did the Franklin ETF launch? Sorry, I just joined. Yes, the Franklin ETF was supposed to go live today. That was announced on several things. Let's take a look here. Franklin, I'm pulling it up right now. Franklin ETF XRP. Let's take a look. I'm pulling up an article right now for you on Yahoo Finance. I'm pull it up for you. We'll look at it together and react there. How does that sound? Why XRP's price is seen to surge 21% as Franklin Templeton and others join ETF rush. This was yesterday. U.S. spot XRP exchange traded funds U.S. spot XRP exchange traded funds is seen to fuel a big bang for Ripple-linked cryptocurrency price in November. The 136 billion digital coin is well positioned to lead the next wave of the bull run alongside a tsunami of imminent ETF approvals. This isn't what we want. Hang on. The Franklin Templeton ETF was supposed to go live today. I'm finding it for you here. I want the confirmation for you. And you're saying, no, it's not launching today? Monday. It got pushed to Monday. Franklin Templeton. I saw last night on Twitter it was going live today. So hang on. Updated timelines from Crypto Basic updated 7 minutes ago. This is going to be the best one here. Bastards making me look like a liar. Sorry for the language and sorry for misreporting, guys. I saw on Twitter from a trusted source that it was launching today. I apologize. That means my whole timeline's off. And that makes me look really bad. I apologize. I had bad information. Well, you guys are saying 11.4 and 11.24. XRP community analyst Zach Rector has released. Okay, well, so Crypto Basic is pulling from YouTube. All right, that's not helpful. Where is the good information? Templeton's XRP ETF goes live as Bitcoin hyper pre-sale picks up. This is the Bitcoinist. Franklin Templeton, EZRP, and Bitwise XRP arrive this week, it says right here. Hang on. There's all kinds of information. It says it goes live today. This was right here. Franklin Templeton's EZRP and Bitwise's XRP ETF arrived this week, signaling that institutional demand for major altcoins remains. 9 XRP ETFs land between the 18th and 25th. This is what I said. Franklin Templeton to launch on November 18th on the CBOE. So everything's showing it's launching today. Well, the CBOE, I wonder if it'll be on Robinhood. That's what I have pulled up here. Hang on. What is let me pull this back up here. What's the we're finding it together. We will research together, everyone. We will get to the bottom of it. So what is the EZRP? Okay, let me pull up Robinhood and I will look up this ticker. EZRP. No results found on Robinhood. So, all right, no results found on Robinhood. So you're saying this one's a mistake from this one. When did this go live? The Bitcoinist. So no one knows apparently. This was 7 hours ago from the one I was looking at. 9 XRP to launch in 10 days on Coinpedia. So some of you are telling me that it hasn't launched, and everything online is saying it does launch today. Here's 4 hours ago. Analysts grow increasingly bullish as Franklin Templeton gears up to launch XRP ETF. Oh, okay. Cloudflare network issue. Okay, I've had this issue on several things today. It looks like we're having another internet issue. I also had issues with the live stream this morning. Has anyone else had any internet or connectivity issues today? I think we might be having another internet problem worldwide or countrywide again, maybe, possibly, or it's just me and I'm having issues. But I'm not seeing anything about the Franklin Templeton ETF being delayed anywhere online when I was looking. But moving along, regardless if it goes live to this is a great opportunity. Okay, regardless if the ETF goes live today or not. Okay, regardless of how many ETFs go live this week, we're not going to see pressure from the inflows on day one. It takes time to ramp up. These are liquidity pipes turning on that are going to consistently remove supply. And that's going to cause an increase in demand, or the ETFs cause the increase in demand. Treasury companies cause an increase in demand. Utility causes an increase in demand. And utility causes an increase in demand, and this is going to cause our floor to rise, okay? Because we're going to keep messing around with these spikes and this volatility in the market until utility happens and until it separates and decouples from Bitcoin. Otherwise, XRP's price is just going to follow Bitcoin and it's going to follow tech stocks. We're not going to see the pump until the utility comes into play, and it's around the corner. And I wanted to bring that up right here. I'm going to pull this up. I got questioned on this one here. Oh, come on, X. Don't you give me problems too. Oh, my goodness. So here we go. This is on Twitter. This is from CryptoRS. This is the CEO of Coinbase. And he was talking here.
Yeah, well, we had great meetings with the Democrats in the Senate and on the Republican side today. And the good news is that there's strong bipartisan support and will to get this market structure legislation done. It's important for America, and the 50 million Americans who've used crypto want to see it get done. And so one date we heard floated was, let's try to get this markup done before Thanksgiving. I think that there's 90% of the issues are already aligned on and agreed, and there's draft text going back and forth, a lot of great cross-functional collaboration happening. That last 10% are the remaining issues, and everyone committed to get in the room together and work it out, and hopefully we'll see some draft text or get it out of committee by Thanksgiving. Yeah, well, we had great meetings.
Sorry that did my connection drop? Has it improved? I'm hardwired in with a 300 meg 300 meg connection on this computer, so I shouldn't have streaming issues. Hopefully it's fixed, but I am hardwired in. Moving along, they said it's 10% away and expect the bill to be done by Thanksgiving. If we get regulatory clarity done before Thanksgiving with these ETFs flowing in, it is going to be a pump. That is clarity plus banking charters are going to be huge. This is what we are looking for. Now, I'm going to briefly talk on this because I do think it's important. I get a lot of questions on my overall thesis and why I believe in XRP so much. I'm showing I have a green connection as well. Maybe it was just a glitch when I tried to stream the video at the same time. But the debasement trade. A lot of you probably aren't familiar with it. Basically, the government and world governments essentially have been inflating the money to the point it has no value, right? So what is the debasement trade? The debasement trade is running away from traditional securities and fiat-based assets like stocks and stocks or holding cash or treasury bonds, things like that, and running to things that are deflationary or combat inflation, such as gold, silver, cryptocurrencies like XRP and Bitcoin. In the last 5 years, our currency has decreased in value by over 25%. And since 1971, when we came off the gold standard, our dollar has decreased in value by over 90%. So when you think about that and you think about that happening worldwide, I mean, multiple countries now are going in and running to gold. That's why our gold is valued so high. The last time we saw anything like this, it led up to the Great Depression. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. This is a different era, and there's different mechanisms and a different world we're living in right now. But a lot of my investments, not financial advice, a lot of my investments are based around the collapse of the current economy. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's how I am planning for the future. So anything that fixes or improves the current economy or can bail out the current economy is what I research and what I look at, because I do think we are and have been balancing on the edge of a knife for a long time. And that's not me to spread FUD or fear or anything like that. I'm just being a realist with you all and what I think, believe, and see coming. So again, sorry for the glitch in quality today. I think we're having an issue. With the internet, not just me. Any questions that I can answer? I would love to open this up to a Q&A. If you guys have anything for me, I'd love to speak with y'all. Let's see. Now I finally see the bear market. No, I've always seen the bear market. I've seen the bear market for the better part of 6 months. I believe personally, XRP fixes a lot of the issues we're having that's causing the bear market. I have always seen the bear market. I fully believe that XRP is going to fix those issues, and that's what's going to open the door. And I think that's why a lot of people like yourself think I sound crazy, because I think they're going to run to XRP to fix the issues. Let's see here. Greetings from London. Appreciate you, Adam. Did Franklin Templeton's spot ETF go live today? That is unconfirmed. Some people in the stream are saying no. Twitter and Google says yes, but I can't find the listing either. And I do think we might be having some issues with the internet connection. So no SEC effective date for November 18th. Launch is not launching today unless CBOE posts it in the next few hours. So yeah, it's on the CBOE. This all came from the generic listing standards and the 20-day countdown. That's where the November 18th came from. So it's still ultimately up to the CBOE. So if the CBOE decides not to list it, which if they haven't yet, they're not going to. Looks like we're still waiting on an official date for Franklin Templeton. So again, apologies for any misreporting, but it is all over the internet that today is the day, as well as it aligned with the countdown, the 20-day countdown from the SEC filings. So not sure why it didn't go live. Buy guns and XRP. Oh my goodness. Random Q, do you think if it turns out Epstein did fund Bitcoin, that will cause a sell-off or impact on BTC? 1,000,000% that's going to cause an impact. Chicken Little and FUD and the sky is falling. I mainly try to come on and talk about facts and my opinion and take on those facts, as opposed to getting into conspiracy theory and thought processes with you. But I do believe personally in the transition of this new financial market. Just me, I think Bitcoin is going to fail some way, somehow. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't have a logic or argument to it, but I think at some point, I think there's going to be a rug pull. And this is me coming. I hold Bitcoin. Just keep that in mind. I hold Bitcoin, but that is a concern I have in my head, because there is so much unknown about Bitcoin and there is so much money involved in Bitcoin and there's so much shady stuff, Bitcoin and Tether. And I don't know. I feel like it's propped up by something, and it's just going to take one wrong move for that to fall as well. My personal opinion, not financial advice. Coinbase steals your crypto. I don't use Coinbase. Let's see here. My connection is better now. Great. That would have sucked. Excuse me. So I'm going to do some more research today and get to the bottom of these. Make sure we don't have any other errors. Expect that tomorrow morning on the live stream. I'll come in here and give you guys hopefully corrected update, assuming I find the correct information, but I am not going to make that same mistake twice. Currently we are at 216.6. Again, nothing really going today. This is all going to fall on, I would watch closely, guys, the private credit sector. I would watch closely the repo markets. Those are going to be the indicators moving forward on what's about to happen in the stock market. XRP is following everything else right now. And until we see XRP move up while everything else is falling, we don't really have anything to cheer for. ETFs aren't gonna do anything right now in this market. It's a matter of the utility turning on, which I think, again, as always, and have been stating from the beginning on here with you guys, I believe is going to start at the end of November, moving into December through the end of the year, based on when the utility comes into effect. I thought the ETFs and liquidity were going to raise the price moving into that as supply shrinks, and it still can and probably will. Honestly, we have time. I just there is a lot of negative macroeconomic scares and bear pressure right now, and that's going to drive the whole market down. We're not going to see anything break until utility separates itself. But as always, that's everything I got for today. I appreciate all of you. If there's no more questions, I'm going to call it, and I will be on here tomorrow morning at 8:30 with correct information for you guys. I'm going to be digging into that all day. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.